My name is Andrea Moore, and I'm here to tell you a story. We are standing in a landfill in the center of a slum. I see 400 hungry people. We have 40 cups of rice. We're far from the road, too far to run if this thing goes down. And it might. I can see that. I don't need a camera to capture that fact. I don't need a camera to trap hunger in its tracks and call it by its name. I know what hunger looks like. It looks like fear in the eyes of horses, like scores of screaming, brutish boys, like forces of evil, seen and unseen. Hunger is mean. For a moment, I think we could die here because we are standing in a landfill in the center of a slum. 400 hungry people and 40 cups of rice. I look Pavel in the eyes. Don't argue with me. If I tell you that we're leaving, I want you to drop everything and run. Pavel is a hero, a Buddha, a Brahmin. He believes in miracles, tries to touch them with his hands. So he doesn't understand, but he agrees. He can't see the forest through the trees. Inside the center of the circle, he can only see the need. Hungry people he can feed. But I am riding on the rim. I have a different view than him. Our guide inside is Patrick, Ugandan, an orphan. He's wise as a sage and bright as a star. He's laughing and leaping, huge dreaming, far scheming. Patrick is laughing. Patrick is always laughing. He marches deep inside the slums, humming, strumming God's secret music, coming with a few bags of food and a first aid kit. The slum kids are his holy light. He joins their fight. He spends the night sleeping under sacks and plastic, pointing out the shooting stars. The boys come running, call him uncle. They shuffle, scuffle for a better view. Patrick's only in his 20s, but I think he might be Gandhi. The fourth friend in our party is smooth and slight Sharif. He's smart and spry. Sharif's the spy, and he's here to have my back. Pavel and Patrick carry the food, and I carry just a camera. The grown-ups don't like it. I can see it. I can feel it. The grown-ups start to grumble. A man reaches for a rock, we scramble away. We find a wall, we cling, we stay. The kids we meet are posing, prancing, dancing for my lens, so I focus on these little guys until, stunned and startled, I realize that every kid has bloodshot eyes, a hollow haze, that daze induced from slugging gin. 10-year-olds are double-fisting, listing, listless, slurring, swaying. One hand grips a bottle and the other a rag. A slug, then a sniff, makes hunger peripheral. It dulls the ache. It quells the quaking. Trash can be treasure when you're dull beyond measure. Deep in cocoon, in a swoon of not feeling, the groan in the gut goes away. And the gutsy ones say, Mzungu! Mzungu! Beat my picture, miss. By myself only. Beat my picture, miss. The boy bares his teeth and inflates like a balloon. I beat his picture. That's how it translates from Uganda, beat. It's a bad verb, a mean verb. We use language like guns. These boys parade like proud hosts, but under the chest thumping, they flicker like ghosts. They pretend they're flying. They pretend they're alive, but they're just really surviving, and barely, and rarely eating, and hardly thinking past their next meal. They're dealing, but they'll cut you if you come between them and eating, between them and drinking, between them and huffing, between them and dying. They'll cut you, they'll love you if you come between them and dying. Seeing truth can feel like spying. Patrick gathers a group like this rice is loaves and fishes, but hunger isn't holy, and hunger isn't timid. Our resources are limited, and I worry at the rumbling. The way the boys are tumbling over one another to get at the food. I worry at the rude way the bigger boys are edging in. The sleepy afternoon, once sluggish, now humming, unslumping. I worry that a rift can birth a riot, and I don't want to try it. Patrick sits them on the ground to calm them down. And then he stands them in a line to organize them, to civilize them. And at first they all do it, but the line of boys becomes a brawl, a surging cell, a crumbling wall, a bursting dam, a train derailed, an utter fail. As the bag of rice is torn away and ripped apart, the tinderbox explodes in yelling, flailing arms and legs, a felling of a forest of anger and fear, little ones crying, bigger ones vying for more, always more until the rice is gone. Vanquished, vanished. The lucky ones run off, banished as a have by the have-nots, and they never look back. Thank God that's over, I think. The status quo feels safer. With no food to sway the balance, we're back to mere annoyance at our presence. Patrick opens the first aid kit. A boy presents his leaking leg, busted by a billy club that night the cops came in and lit the place on fire. Another kid is missing toes. See, people set traps here when they take out their trash to keep out the riffraff, like starving, orphaned children. Because AIDS has done a number here. A lot of numbers, really. 2.5 million children have been orphaned just in Uganda alone. But Kampala is Nairobi, is Manila, is Mumbai, Rio de Janeiro, Kuala Lumpur. Kampala is unsure about how to proceed. Does it chase the tail of progress or confront this gaping need? In the slum, I feel my whiteness like a flame. I flaunt my cleanliness like blame. I wear my tennis shoes with shame. I think making a difference here depends on being able to accept my own discomfort. But I'm wearing my own skin like a snake. I want to shake it, shed it, get it off. There's this tightrope I am walking. I know I must do something. I can't do nothing, but what thing is the right thing? What function am I having? Standing in the garbage, carrying this camera. I fancy myself this activist purist, but am I a witness? Or am I a tourist? I ask Sharif to translate the muttering, the gutter talk, sput, sput, sputtering from every slack-eyed source, men drunk, men coarse and angry, who pierce me with their eyes as they mutter, shuffle by, Muzungu, mufulume, genda ere mumerika. What are they saying, Sharif? Tell me everything you're hearing. I don't want to be protected. I'm here to be affected. But I'm terrified that my quest comes at their cost. Am I gaping at their struggle? Am I fetishizing need? This isn't a museum. These people are bleeding, hungry, messy, busy. I want to understand, but I don't want to make it worse. So first, I'll stop taking pictures. I'll shrink by this wall. My uncertainty searing. Just tell me what you're hearing. Sharif, what are they saying? Part of it's the same old song. I don't fit in. I don't belong. But there's something more they're saying. They're angry. They say that I'll take my pictures and then go back where I came from. I'll make money off of their faces, and they'll never see me again. Are they wrong? My heart is forged to freely give, but our verb is take a picture. So much for my shining hope. My good intentions burn like rope running through my hands. A heavy thing is falling, and I cannot stop it, slow it down. I can only watch it fall. I lean against a leaning wall. The starving boys are lean and gruff, huffing on their glue, while Pavel and Patrick, our Buddhas, stick Band-Aids on bare flesh. Hydrogen peroxide in generous splashes stays the tide of poverty as goodwill dashes from this hand to that heart, from this man to that boy. Joy is in the contact, that simple human contact, that cotton and that swab, and the gobs of good cheer that eradicate fear. It's just one day, but it's a good day. I watch them and I pray for everyone, for all of us, for Sharif and for Patrick, for Pavel, the slum kids, the drunk men, the drunk boys, these 8-year-old addicts. I pray for forgiveness and not from them. I pray I can forgive myself for fumbling toward change. Let me never so fear tripping that I refuse to walk. Let me not run from learning by doing. Let me try and fail. Offend, then mend, rather than not extend myself at all. I pray that I will not allow my fear that I've accomplished nothing allow me to accomplish nothing. Patrick puts a Band-Aid on the bottom of a bare foot. Look, we know this isn't working. But that doesn't mean it isn't helping. The purpose we are serving is simple. We are loving. We are touching. We are listening. We are seeing. And yes, also, we are taking. We are taking pictures, taking our time, committing to memory and also sometimes to rhyme, these people, this place, this tender present space. We are taking it in and we are taking it out. After all the Band-Aids have stuck to skin and before half of them have come unstuck again, we trudge back out. We are enriched, appalled, entranced, enthralled, full to bursting, satiated from our special brand of starving. We pick our way through muck and rubbish, stuck on what we can't accomplish, sold on everything we can, knowing we don't understand, but we'd like to. There's this gritty little gateway in a grimy, ugly wall. We pause as we are walking. We are struggling. We are small. There's a sign above the doorway that divides what's out from in. Safe journey, it reads. And please, come again. We each step through. A motley crew of students, street kids, artists, orphans. We walk a little ways in silence. At last I turn. I peer at Patrick. And I ask him how he sees himself. What's the title of his work? Are you a teacher? Are you a pastor? Are you a mentor? Are you a helper? Patrick laughs and flashes 10,000 tiny teeth, white and gleaming, neatly beaming. I am just a person, Patrick says to me. I am just a person. And I realize in that moment, that's all I need to be. Thank you.